Good morning, my dear children. I hope you're all in good health and strength. We'll start the lesson by reading a Bible verse together. May God be gracious to us and bless us and make His face shine on us. With this promise, we'll move into our English class. Now, so far, children, you have learned many lessons, poems, and supplementary readings. Just before our exams, we'll just recall what all we have learned so far. Now, the first prose lesson is Hobby Turns a Successful Career. This lesson is divided into 3 sections. In the first section, we see that about a person named Money. He had difficulty in reading and writing, but his grandfather helped him by reading a lot of bedtime stories. Gradually, he started writing his own stories and essays. Because of this hobby, he became a successful writer. The second section is about a person named Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar suffered an injury at the age of 3. He was treated, but he became permanently deaf. He started to paint and he became a very talented person. This was found by his father when he gifted him with a paint set to play, and he became an accomplished artist in miniature style. He also actively involved in the welfare of impaired people, and he developed his skills and he turned this hobby into a successful career. Third section tells about Ilavalagi, who achieved her dreams amidst all odds. She developed her interest in playing carom. She won the first match against her father, and this gave her a confidence to win more matches. She won a lot of trophies. She lived in a very small house. Her house was filled with trophies, and we find that she gave some of her trophies to her relatives and her friends, and she became a world champion in women's singles. Next, we'll move into the poem in the first unit named My Hobby Reading, written by Arunachalam Chandrasekharan. Now, in this poem, the poet says his hobby is reading, and because of this hobby, he says that he could grow and cultivate new thoughts. He is taken in his imaginations to near and far off places, and reading also teaches him to laugh and cry in the same spirit. Reading lets him let his thoughts to travel anywhere he wants to go. The poet wishes that if all the children get proper education, we can turn our society into a very powerful one. Next, we'll see the first supplementary reading, Jim Corbett, a hunter turned naturalist. Now, Jim Corbett, we find, was a wildlife photographer, a hunter, writer, and naturalist. He was always accompanied by his dog, Robin. According to his theory, a tiger starts eating humans only when they grow old or when they get hurt. Now, his first man-eating hunt was the Champavat tiger. It was a Bengal tigress responsible for nearly 436 deaths. The tigress began her attack in a Rupal village in West Bengal. We see that the tiger killed a 16-year-old girl And Champavat wanted to kill the tiger, but he couldn't. He missed. Then Jim shot the tigress dead near the Chattar bridge in Champavat. In the post-mortem report, they found that the upper and lower canine teeth on the right side of her mouth was broken. And because of this, she could not go and hunt and eat the animals. So she started killing human beings. Then he went on lecturing tours to educate people about wildlife and natural heritage. He also promoted the Association for the Prevention of Game Hunting and All India Conference for the Preservation of Wildlife. After Jim's death, the park was renamed as Jim National Park. Now moving on into the Unit 2. First we'll see the prose name friendship. Here also we'll go section by section. Now this tells about a person named VIII. He was a successful businessman in Coimbatore. He constructed many buildings, houses, but after his father's death, he was compelled to divide the property with his brothers. And so he found it very difficult to go on with his business. He sold all his properties to pay the loans. He moved to a very small house with his family. But VIII wanted to start the company again. So his wife suggested him to go and meet his friend Asif for help. Now we'll move on into the second two where the story continues. And VIII boarded the train to Chennai because his friend Asif lives there. While traveling, his memory went back to his school days. VIII and Asif lived in the village Keelakudi near Coimbatore. The friendship started on the first day and they became very good friends. They became very good competitors, but they loved each one very much. And after 10th standard, Asif moved to Chennai and VIII moved to Coimbatore. Now moving on into the third section. Now VIII went to Asif's office. He hesitated to go inside. He was stopped by the security and he directed VIII to a receptionist. VIII was asking the receptionist whether he could meet his friend Asif. As Asif pat on VIII's back, they spoke about their school days and the fun they had. Asif took VIII to his home for lunch. VIII was very surprised to see his Asif's wife, who said that Asif always used to talk about VIII, but he never asked for help. He returned home. 2 days later, VIII received a call from Asif's office stating that Asif, their MD, has assigned the project to VIII. That's true friendship. The second poem is Lessons in Life by Daniel Ho and Bridget Bryant. In this, the poets say, bring out the importance of friendship in one's life. Not only friendship, but everyone and every single person is important in our life. They say having a friendship is like planting a flower. It exhibits love and kindness. Every small gift has a great deal of effort behind it. So small things, every small thing which is gifted deserves a thank you. We feel sad when we are forgotten by others. Similarly, others feel sad when they are forgotten. So, we should consider everyone very, very important. So, respect and value each person. The poet repeats the value of gratitude, love, respect throughout the poem to make everyone understand that without these, no one can live happily. Next, we'll move on to the supplementary reading, Homeless Man and His Friends, which is a true story. Now, this is about a man named Cesar in South Brazil. He often sacrifices his food to feed the stray dogs around him. One day he becomes sick, and his kindness towards the animal comes back to him. He goes to a hospital and admits himself for treatment. At 3 a.m., the dogs accompany him to the emergency room at a hospital in Brazil. The nurses who were there in the hospital were all surprised to see the 4 dogs waiting at the entrance to see Cesar. And we find the nurse was very much impressed, and she posted the picture in Facebook. The nurse allowed the dogs inside after giving medication the person needed. The nurse offered some food to Cesar, but he ate some and gave the rest of the food to the dogs. Cesar has very little material possessions and does not have any kith or kin, but he has his warm and loving companions always with him. Next, moving on into Unit 3, Prose, Being Safe. Section 1 again. Now, this is about Prashant, who lives with his parents in Tiruchirappalli. He spends his vacation with his grandfather, who lives in Nagati. His friends Sundar, Ravi, Peter, Mani, Jafar, and they always come to play with him. His grandfather discussed road rules and safety. Moving on into the next section, Mani, Jafar, Sam, Murthy came to play with Prashant. Grandfather, he discussed about the sunstroke. He explained about the precautions to be taken while they played under the sun. He explained many safety measures to be followed. Section 3. Ravi, Jafar, Prashant asked the grandfather to tell them more about safety measures to be taken at home. He says that we should not play with the knives, scissors at home. Finally, grandfather explains about how to use and keep medicines in safe containers, and it should be kept away from children. He instructed on the cyber safe. Safety measures discussed in this lesson. Be careful while walking and crossing the road. Look both sides of the road before crossing the road. Walk one after the other. Don't use mobile phone while crossing. Don't play under the sun. Use sunscreen while going outside. Act like an adult. Now moving on into the third poem, Fireworks Night by Enid Blyton. Now this poem focuses on a dog being scared on a bonfire night. He's caught outside. The dog requests his mistress to let him into the house as he is scared of gun shooting in the night. The dog couldn't bear the loud noise. Because of fear, his tail is down and his ears are flat. The mistress opened the door wide and the dog rushes in. He feels safe because there is light inside the house. He is very thankful to his mistress and wants to show it by licking her hand. After the loud noise ends, he says that he will run to his kennel and guard her safely in the nights because she understood the dog's fright and opened the gate. The last one is Supplementary Reading, When Instinct Works by Anna Siebel. Now, this is about the special knowledge given to animals by God. The instinct in animals had saved the lives of many men. One day, the Master John and Black Beauty, they went to another place in a new cart, but the weather was windy and there was great deal of rain. When they came to the entrance of the toll gate, the man warned them that the river was rising fast. The river was flooding and it became also very dark. Black Beauty sensed danger once she touched the entrance to the bridge, and she would not move further. The man at the other end of the toll gate flashed a torch and said that the bridge was broken in the middle. John praised Black Beauty for saving their lives, and when they returned home safely, John gave a very good supper and a thick bed of straw for the horse to take rest. Black Beauty was grateful for everything, and it rested as it was very, very tired. Thank you, children, for being with me while revising the lessons. Dear children, all the very best for your exams. I hope you will revise all the lessons, poems and supplementary reading and do your exams well. God be with you and bless you.